Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is the 31st of May, and after 8 long months of a brutal preseason, a diligently trained normal season, and now, the grand finals. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the end of the AHGL StarCraft 2 route, casted by me, Day 9, and that man, Rotterdam. Roddy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Now, for any of you who are unfamiliar with the After Hours Gaming League, it is a for-fun charity corporate team league, which means players from major corporations join together in an act of gamer bonding, and they fight against other teams. Kind of like corporate softball, but in this case, it's League of Legends, Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO, and of course, StarCraft 2 is what we're casting today, the longest standing event in the After Hours Gaming League. And whoever wins this gets to donate $5,000 to the charity of their choosing, with Amazon representing Child's Play and Google Glass representing Doctors Without Borders. And, Roddy, since none of the players will be winning any money for themselves, do you know what the important thing that they're competing for is?
Pride and ladder points?
That's right. That's right. It is the famous Day 9 No Prize. It is the satisfaction, the knowledge that they have defeated the enemy, because amazingly, Microsoft is not here in the finals. They were in 3 other finals, and you've seen them kick a lot of ass in AHGLs of past.
Yeah, no, they were extremely... Actually, I was so surprised, because last time when you invited me for the season finals that we had in Santa Monica, you're like, Kev, it's going to be fun, don't take the games too serious, but, some of those guys, especially on Team Microsoft back then, they actually showed some pretty legit style.
Yeah.
It was really fun as well to even see some of the guys saying like, hey, I did a couple of your builds, or, they copied this build of the pro gamers, so they definitely knew what they were doing, so it's surprising to see them not being here.
And one of the things that I actually really love that you brought up about AHGL is that there's like super mega pros. Like you casted WCS today, and there's like so many builds that I wouldn't say you can't do. It's that you can't quite do. It's like you can almost do it, but you just can't quite do them when you're up against, someone who's above Grandmaster, like a WCS Premier player. But here you can do those builds in AHGL. We saw the one base Tempest play beat Terran.
Yeah, I know. I was so proud. You know it, man. Like, I loved it. That was my build. It's the one and only true Roddy build. And I know we have a PvT today, so
yes.
If we see it one more, I might just lose it, just so you know.
God, would be a delight. Yeah, let's influence the players. The games haven't been played yet, but if you go for Tempest, we're going to bias our commentary, which, as we know, is a dark power wieldable by any caster, the power of bias. Well, this is a good play. You monster. Now, of course, we've talked a little bit about these two teams, taking a look at how they got here. Now, Roddy, the format for this tournament we've talked about before, it's a pro league style format. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with that, why don't you tell us a little bit about what that format entails?
All right, we're going to have a best of 7. All matches, of course, will be played 1 versus 1. Players are dedicated or like already seated on a certain map, so we already know who's going to play against who. You're representing your team. Every single time you win your match, you score 1 point for your team. It's best of 7, so the first team to win 4 matches will win the series.
And the best part is, the first 6 matches are known. Each team submitted the lineup in secret. So these players have actually had, I believe, 3 or 4 days to be training for these games. But should the series be tied up 3-3 and we go to game 7, it's the ace match. Which means all the pressure is on. They have to choose whomever they want from their team to fight right then and there for all the glory. And of course, that $5,000 going to that charity. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add the team captains to this call. And to try to track them down, we have Valentin Stancieux, Mantric from Team Google. Are you present?
Yep, I'm here. I'm not a captain, but I'm the representative.
Oh, no. You're the captain now. Captain Valentin. Oh, and of course we have James Poulard, a.k.a. Chashui from Amazon, the commander of Team Amazon.
Hello. We're ready to rock.
Oh, I like that. Now, Mantric, I have to begin with you from Team Google Glass. Google has been participating in HGL since its inception, but because the popularity has grown so much, you're the Google Glass team. So is everyone on your team a member of the Google Glass project?
No, definitely not. We are scattered all over through different teams. We are actually from different cities, so we join from every corner of the company.
Oh, wonderful. And how, from all these different corners, how did you join together to play and to practice for this event?
I guess it's just our love for StarCraft 2. We have internal discussion groups. We have our own clan in StarCraft 2 in the game. We talk, we exchange ideas, we play against each other, you know, like a real team house.
Yeah! Now, is there any special preparations you did? Did you, like, scout other people's build orders, or are you just watching WCS and picking your favorite player? You're like, go Pult, I'm gonna be Pult. Like, what was the training regiment for this unbelievably life and death match you have coming up?
Well, for the final, I mean, I knew it was going to be a ZVT, so I trained hard with ZVT. We pulled some great Terrans from our team, some great Terrans that are at Google, but they're not into the AHGL team for different reasons, and I trained hard with them. And it's not just me, everybody in the team has been doing that. Once you know your matchup, all you have to do is like drill down and just try your best.
I mean, you're sort of implying to me that there's a regiment here. There's an appreciation for the standard, but does your team tend to like to go for standard builds? Do they tend to like to do repeat strategies? Is there some cheese, some nuttiness in there?
Well, I'm pretty sure if people have been watching the AHGL, they know that we have tried everything. There's certain players in our team that may or may not like to cheese. There's certain players in our team that are just strong all around. I don't want to
may or may not like to cheese. I love that.
I don't want to give too much information on the coming matchups, but well, I'm sure people will like it.
Ooh, Rotterdam, is there anything you need to know from the editor-in-chief, the captain of Team Google Glass, officially, as of right now?
I'd like to ask, you know, like as a player, it doesn't really matter at what level you compete. Whenever you play a match that means anything more than just a ladder match, I tend to get very nervous. You've already played, you know, the semifinals of this tournament, the quarterfinals. How were the nerves back then? And now playing in the grand final, do you already feel it, or do you think you're gonna be okay?
Yeah, I already feel it. The semifinal was against Microsoft, as you very well pointed out. They were the finalists in the last 2 seasons. And we beated them, and obviously the numbers were very high. I think my APM was like 50% higher than normal just because of that. So yeah, definitely feel it, and it's a very nice sensation. And I'm pretty sure we're all gonna have really good games because of this.
No, that's what it's all about.
Oh, that's the best attitude. And of course, for any of you who are interested in the player behind the voice, Mantric will be coming out in Game 3 today. And switching on over to Amazon, Chashui, you've been playing an AHGL forever. You're in the finals right now. How are you guys feeling going into this?
We are feeling fantastic. It's great to be back in the finals. It's been since Season 3. You know, last time when we got there, we got 4-0'd. But this time we have a huge advantage in that Cicero is no longer on our team and he's on Google now.
Damn! Oh my god, that's so ice cold. I love that. Other than deporting the weakest players among you, what are some of the other strategies that Amazon is employing for this final?
Cheese.
Like, how are you training?
Cheese, more cheese, a little bit of ladder heroing, and then some cheese.
Now, when you're developing these cheeses, have you been brewing special treats for each match, or is it just an uncontrollable compulsion to cheese?
You know, there's how you play when you're playing on ladder, and ladder points are at risk. And then there's how you play when your honor is at risk. And there you want it to be an embarrassing kill.
Oh, of course. And what is the most embarrassing way to kill another person in cheese?
Probably the PF rush.
Wow. I like how I'm throwing you some sort of odd questions and you just got the answers. Like lightning speed, you have them. Now, going into this match, of course, again, Cicero will be your opponent in game number 2, so I'm very excited because you already created a little bit of hype rivalry, but you know, going into this best of 7 series, I know you've talked about the cheese preparation, but do you have training sessions? How did your team boot camp? What is the timeline like for Team Amazon?
Team Amazon has been pretty much just scrappy the entire way through. We do this in kind of a almost socialist way in that we don't really have a strong training regimen, but we get together and we work hard when we have to work hard, and then we wing it when we have to wing it. And right now we're about 50% work hard, 50% wing it, so we're going to do great.
Oh, that's the best attitude. Now, is it each person is working for 50% of the time and then winging it, or are half of you winging it and the other half are hardcore? Like, how does this get dice down?
You got it right there.
I always get it right eventually. Now, Rotterdam, is there any choice or any question you have for Chashui, the captain of Team Amazon?
No. I think we're pretty much ready to get this party started. They got me hyped, man. They got me hyped.
Wonderful. Mantric, any final words before I boot you from this call?
May the best team win. That's all I can say. We're ready to go.
I love it. Chashui, any final words before going into this match?
Mantric, thank you for wishing us luck.
I gotta say, before I hang up on you, you guys are way easier to interview than any pro gamer ever. You have media training or something. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Pro gamers, take note. The AHGL is where it is at for socialization. Gentlemen, good luck. Have fun. And once again, it is Google Glass going up against the Amazon Pain Forest is the name of their team. And we are now ready to head into the match. Now, Rotterdam, it's going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg on Echo LE. You are known for your acumen and understanding in all matchups, particularly
absolutely.
Zerg vs. Zerg. I mean, the brain cells on you, I've heard are like legendary in Northern Europe. So, I mean, walk me through Zerg vs. Zerg on Echo LE.
I mean, Echo is one of the most popular maps in the current map war. I can imagine that we have a lot of people watching this show right now that may have not been super up to date up to StarCraft. Recently, we got a bunch of new maps again as the new WCS season has started. Yeah. And Echo, well, think about Echo as the new Overgrowth, the map that nobody is pretty much ever going to veto. Everybody loves it. It plays out in a very straightforward manner. It's easy to go up to 3 bases, but ZVZ, Sean, ZVZ will always be ZVZ, and crazy things can happen in this matchup.
Oh, and in the top left-hand corner, representing Team Amazon is none other than... Whoa! In the top left-hand corner, paused, which makes me feel the urge to lower my voice a little bit, Roddy.
He's getting to it, man. He's like, yeah, all this trash talk, he's been building it up, and now he's like, no!
It's Amazon's Zavid, who didn't have his hotkeys set up. Now that's awesome. Okay, good. He's fixed it.
Game resumed.
And there it is, Amazon's Zavid in the top left, over in yonder bottom right, from Team Google Glass. It's none other than Turing. Now, of course, for any of you who want the scientific notation joke, 1 times 10 to the 100, aka 1E100, I believe is the unit known as a Google. So that's a very nice little reference, yeah.
Oh, I would have not have picked up on this.
And of course, as you're talking about, part of the reason why this map is very popular is that it has the double nice choke. You have a very thin choke to your entrance, down to a mid-ground expansion. You have another choke leading out to the middle of the map, so it's very defensible no matter what strategy you want to do. And similarly, the fact that this third has its own tiny sort of tight-knit area is really, really nice for just zoning in pretty much every matchup.
Yeah, and even in ZVZ as well. I mean, knocking down those cooling towers is going to make your life so much easier to stabilize on 3 bases. And ZVZ in the past, it has been a volatile matchup. This matchup was known for rushing. We all remember the early days of StarCraft 2. Everybody just making Zerglings and Bailings and, going for the best. In this day and age, it has stabilized a little bit. We see a lot of very roach-heavy play. There are many ways to get there. Some people go greedy, some people not go so greedy. But, if it gets to the phase where both players will end up with a bunch of roaches, it can be very difficult to attack into each other. And we may actually be watching a very long game over here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you said it, or what you said is playing out exactly as expected, where we see spawning pools with no gas. I mean, we even saw TLO and WCS just voluntarily completely wall this off with double evolution chamber, Roach Warren, because that's what you do. I remember way back in the days of Shattered Temple, how open your natural expansion was, and it was just Ling Baneling all day, all the time.
Yep, and you send 1 Zergling and 1 Bailing in, and you just keep on trading, and then people are like, why don't we see anything else? And then all the Zergs said, it's not possible! And then, of course, suddenly we learned that, building buildings in the right place can actually help you getting away with certain strategies.
Yeah. It makes me still miss the days of Brood War that were 1 hatch, Muta, Ling, Scourge for like 15 minutes, and it was all micro, and you'd lose 1 Overlord, and the commentators would be like, well, he's going to lose the game because he really needs to spend all his larvae making Mutalisks. We see it looks like very fast gas out of Google. And meanwhile, Zavid on Amazon is delaying his just a little bit, but either way, this is still relatively normal. The real question in my eyes is how much are they going to invest in defense? Are they going to go 4 queen, 3 queen? But honestly, 3 queen is still just so normal on Echo LE.
Yeah, this could play out in many ways, right? Like our Google player is going to have access to speed links quite a bit quicker. He could decide to go for it. He can also just use that gas to go for a ridiculously quick layer. We do see him start circling speed right now, so he may be the aggressor in this matchup. That could work out well for our Amazon player, but he needs to scout this. He needs to identify what he's playing against, because if you don't have your buildings in time and you're playing with slower links, it can be very difficult to defend.
Ooh, I'm not so sure what I think about Turing quickly planting down the spine crawler. I mean, it's a little more typical if you feel vulnerable, if you are expecting your opponent to go for Banelings himself. But in this position, I mean, Turing is going to be very thrilled not only to get into the main, but to see there's no Banelings. I actually would estimate that he should probably cancel the spine crawler. Yeah. There's no need to get it this early, but I don't know. It's one of those things where there's the judgment call behind the spine crawler, but... Oh, excellent. But a lot of people have their fixed build orders that they don't like to deviate from, but great response from Turing there.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot as well that he canceled it. And also, like, he got a great scout and he was able to see the extractor, and then he could already identify, like, hey, I actually mine more gas than my opponent. There is no way I have to worry about a crazy Baneling attack over here. I can cancel that spine, and the fact that he did, well, that's the perfect play. That's the correct play.
Meanwhile, a lot of Zerglings getting made from Turing. Now, this is quite unusual given that the map is once again Echo LE, that is notorious for its defensibility. But we're seeing Zavid go for quite an eager build. I mean, he's going quickly for the layer, and he did this before building any other tech structure, before getting the Roach Warren. Ooh. Even went for a +1 missile attack quite quickly. So this might actually catch Zavid off guard.
Yeah, this is going to get quite close. We see our Amazon player, he is getting a spine crawler. I like this a lot, Sean. He's moving the queens out of position. He's going for the temporary full wall off with the queens behind it. Because if he would have just left the queens there, there's a good chance the Zerglings would have been able to nibble their way through those queens and then start getting to the drones even before the spine is ready. But this Evo Chamber is going to keep him safe. I'm very impressed so far because this is pretty much perfect ZBZ by our Amazon player.
Yeah, and I especially love the 2 in each geyser, the fact that both the extractors are at the expansion, because it's easier to scout those geysers. It's unclear if your opponent is going 4 gas or 3 gas. Just a nice little placement adjustment. And of course, Zavid is getting ready to do the very potent Roach with bonus upgrades, and this is such a nice way to just easily secure this 3rd expansion. You knock down the cooling tower, you have 2 high grounds, simple choke, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on this very fast Spire that we're seeing out of Turing.
Yeah. And this is going to be interesting, right? Because if our Amazon player, Zavid, is not going to identify what he's playing against and he waits for a long time, then he will almost never be able to attack. Because, it doesn't really matter how many roaches you have, Sean, they will never be able to attack Mutalisk. But if he sees this in time and he runs across the map right here and right now, then I think he could still do a lot of economic damage on the other side of the map. But I have the feeling that he's been misreading it just a little bit. So even though I liked Zavid's opening a lot in the start, I think Turing is going to be able to get his Mutas out. And then we're going to have a very interesting game that's going to drag on for a while, because he should be able to get 3 bases, and I think it's going to be a lot harder for Zavid to go up to 3 bases.
But there's that sort of weird break point where, if you're taking your 3rd and then suddenly, a Roach timing arrives. Oh, this is not going to be enough time for the Spire. These Roaches are going to arrive, shut this down. But archaeologists have recently unearthed an ancient cheese from the early days of the beta. You flood one of these thin ramps with spine crawlers. The Roaches cannot quite get up, and the Mutalisk counterattack winds up being enough to kill or cripple Zavid. But at this point, the Roaches have already swept right up into the natural expansion.
Yeah, and the Roaches got +1 as well, so they will be able to take care of these Zerglings almost immediately. They take care of the first few spines. The Mutas are almost out though. Mutalisk will eventually clean this up. But of course, the big question is, how many drones is he going to lose before the Mutas will take care of these Roaches?
I think the answer is going to be most of everything. I mean, we already see Zerglings arriving. This is actually very sharp for Turing to have responded by building Zerglings in this situation to absorb Roach hits. The 3rd base is fortunately not going down, but Zavid is continuing to flood, has begun to rebuild drones at this point in time. We're starting to see the Roach count fall. It's at 14, which is still more than enough to rip through this drone count, down to 19 drones. And we're seeing Turing having spent almost all of his money on additional units. So This is the sort of situation that makes people not want to go for Mutalisk if their timing is a little bit off. I mean, Zavid's timing has been impeccable this match.
No, absolutely, because I was very worried. I actually thought he was going to miss the window because he was still sitting behind this full wall of.
Yeah.
The spy was almost done. I was like, man, I don't think it's going to be in time. So Turing is going to get map control, but he hit right at the right amount of time. You know, just before most of those Mutalisks were out or they were still in production. And well, 11 drones left. It's going to be very hard. With a little bit of luck, these Mutalisks will be able to keep Zavid on 2 bases for a while.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Even then, you know, he still is on 2 bases of a much better economy. He has to be very careful. Spore crawlers are ridiculously good against Mutas.
Spore crawlers basically shoot air banelings these days, so the Mutalisks die in 3 shots to a spine crawler, so that means it's pretty easy to pick them off quickly. And the fact that Zavid, on the backside of this attack, was massing both drones and queens is just such a sharp observation. I mean, 4 roaches, that's pretty good game awareness to recognize that you don't need extra roaches to withstand an attack.
Yeah. The good thing for Turing is he's going to get a couple of overlords in the middle of the map, but you know, Zavid is just in a phenomenal position. He could even go for a Nidus network since he's still making queens, or something we've seen TLO do as well, like you mentioned TLO before, is just run across the map with queens. You can also drop the Hydralisk then. Needless to say, our Amazon player is in a really good position right now.
Yeah, I mean, this could possibly be the only significant error we can talk about Zavid doing, that he recognized that there were Mutalisks coming out and didn't quite save as many overlords as he could have. That said, he is doubling his opponent in terms of supply. Overlord speed coming up right now for Zavid, just to make sure that he has as much map control as he can.
I like the little overlord party we got going on in Turing's main base. They're all so perfectly lined up. Like, it's very, very adorable.
Yeah, look at this. Party train. I mean, Zavid's being ruthless. He's not even letting Turing get 125 mineral extractor. He's like, nope, nope, I will lose nothing. A single very brave overlord is going to lose his life in the middle of the map, and in the meantime, it's +2, +1 upgrades coming out.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what is the best thing that Turing could be doing here, and I do kind of like that he's getting Centrifugal Hoax, also known as Baneling speed over here, because we all know that if Banelings can somehow connect with Hydralisk, they can actually melt all of them in no time at all. And he needs a crazy play, right? He needs to do something ridiculous over here to get back into this game, because he took so much economic damage. So this may very well be the dream and the best option.
Yeah, I think that this is one of these sort of smart judgment call type moves, and it's the kind that can actually catch a player off guard. I mean, you heard me talk about how there's builds and strategies you can't quite do at a pro level. It's like, I almost want to call them invisible walls, where, oh, the reason you don't go Baneling is that if your opponent sees it, they can intuitively respond like this. And by intuitive, I mean, if you've played several thousand games of StarCraft and seen all the variety of different units that are thrown at you, you probably have some answers prepared. But has Zavid seen this sort of unusual mass Baneling answer? If he hasn't, he can easily just pitch his whole army down a well.
Absolutely, because right now the Hydralisk count is not that high. But of course, it's not just the Hydras that create a problem over here. Look at all these queens that are marching across the middle of the map. And their energy, they've got so much energy, they can transfuse for days.
Yeah, I want to see the mass Baneling get out-transfused by queens. This is my wish. Zavid marching across, and of course, there's one queen who's a real looker. Every Roach and Hydra can't take their eyes off her. She's beautiful. And Turing now continuing to gather up so many Banelings. Oh my gosh, centrifugal hooks are done. +1 air attacks is going to be done, but that doesn't really mean very much. Oh my god.
That may very well be the first real queen we've actually seen in StarCraft that's been like guided across the map like a queen.
I know, seriously, queens don't get enough respect in this game, and here it comes. The queen's nowhere to be found, the Banelings rolling in, the Hydras are trying to split, but this isn't Terran. Do they have enough of the splitting potential? And the answer is, oh my god, the queens actually can't out-transfuse that many Banelings. This is bad for Turing.
I mean, all the Hydralisks did die, but all the queens are still alive, and the meter count is just not high enough to fight against this amount of queens. And these queens, soon they will actually step on creep again, so they will be a lot faster.
I know, oh god, creep, the anti, I always want it to be the sort of anti-slow counter, you know? I have my increased mobility, but of course, if you're ever trying to out-mobility any other Zerg player, you are actually helping him by spreading all the creep everywhere. Turing losing the natural. Oh gosh, the desperation muta's trying to click around. We go to the APM tab, spiking at 240. Desperately clicking, trying to find the hope somewhere, Roddy, but where has it gone?
I don't know. When there's a maxed out Zerg army in your base, which mostly consists of queens, and you're relying on a couple of mutalisks to bring it home, I don't know. I would dance my units and just tap out.
And there's the GG, well played. Amazon wins game number 1, and guess what that means? They receive a 1-0 next to their score. Boom, there it is. Zavid having marked it down for his team as we head into the next game. We talked about it before. It's going to be Chashui versus Cicero, a matchup that I'm honestly very excited to see because of that sick, dirty trash talk at the start of the match. Roddy.
I know, you gotta call him out. He's like, well, I think we're gonna win this year because the player that made us lose last year is now on the enemy team. I guess before we can hop into the second series, I do want to give a big compliment to the way that Zavid played this though. Like, he actually played very well, identified everything early on, went for the full wall up, and then the roach counter, I was afraid it was going to be too late, but it couldn't have been any better. He took care of all the Zerglings, all the spines, and killed like 20, 30 drones. Like, that was just a very solid, well-timed attack.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's one of those attack timings that, honestly, it was such a simple example of something that I just find so beautiful in StarCraft 2 in general, when it's like, okay, I'm going to look very vulnerable. I'm going to cut everything. I'm not going to get any units, any defense, and all of a sudden, a couple of gauges start filling. And Roddy, tell me nothing feels better than when all those gauges line right up. Where it's like your roaches pop out right when speed is done, right when +1 is done. And then they start their little derpy roach crawl at high speed to the enemy base. He lined them up, Roddy. He lined those gauges.
Yeah, and it's even more beautiful than that he also gave his opponent the idea early on. It's like, hey man, you should maybe try to make a bunch of links over here. Like, I'm skipping Zergling speed, I'm pretty vulnerable. And then your opponent is slowing down his own economy to make all those units, and then you just have the perfect wall off. He had a very good approach to the matchup. You can see that he understands CVZ quite well.
And that means that our next match is going to be Cicero, who plays Protoss, going up against Chashui, the Terran, on Inferno Pools. Which we'll be getting set up in just a moment. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on the map Inferno Pool in the Terran vs. Protoss matchup? And I mean, I know that your Protoss might not be up to spec as your Zerg vs. Zerg is, but tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the map.
That's true. I dream about roaches and mutalisks all day, every day. But every now and then I play a game of Protoss. You know, Inferno Pools is a map that, like, I don't veto any maps because I like the variety of ladder. Even if it makes it like tough for my race, I still think it's more fun to play all maps than like vetoing some maps because we're going overly tryhard over here. And I actually think that some of the most fun games of StarCraft I've ever played have been on Inferno Pools. It's a it's a very unique map because of the islands and stuff and all the space around the bases.
Yeah. I mean, the islands certainly something that is sort of underutilized in StarCraft 2, and even more underutilized in Warcraft 3. But let me not derail. It's something so simple about Inferno Pools that I love, just that there's a big hole in the middle. That's like my favorite part, because now there's this weird management of how do I get around? Where do I position my army? Because it's just so easy to have little counterattacks, and it's not something huge. It's not just like not forcing you to the sides. It's just you can't quite have a middle, and that results in a lot of really interesting positioning. I mean, especially in Terran vs. Protoss, which has just so many interesting angles, and each player's trying to manage each other's balls, Roddy.
You know what's quite cute is that we have a little fact sheet over here with some information about all the players, and apparently our Protoss buddy Cicero over here, that's representing Google, is also known as the Lord of Four Gates. But if there is one map where I probably wouldn't really forgate, it's like the biggest or second biggest map in the map pool right now. Even though the ramp in the natural is ridiculously wide, like it is a very, very wide ramp, which normally is bad for Protoss, especially against Zerg. But, you know, if you want to forget a Terran that goes for a very economic opening, maybe that's why they put
Maybe that's what you do, you know? Like, there is a psychology to someone who chases a lot, which is like, this is the worst map for forgating. So if I forgate, and surprise. But then there's this slight problem where if you're only ever forgating, you can be a little bit predictable.
I mean, it would be extremely smart to call yourself the Lord of Four Gates, but actually go Nexus first every game.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's, I've always been fascinated that a player can just claim to be something, and
Yeah,
everyone's just like, I guess he's that now. Like Huck, when he was like top 3 control.
he still is.
Yeah, now the thing is that, like, it's not is he or isn't he, it's that every time someone brings up Huck, they're like, no, top 3 control. It's like, look at that! Look at that. He's great at marketing. That's really what we're crediting
Right.
Huck with today. And he also has good control, but it's top 3 control. Now, we are going to go into the Terran versus Protoss, as usual, for any of you who are not TVP aficionados. Really, I've always felt, and I still feel, and I always will feel that this matchup is about what the Terran can do between 10 and 15 minutes.
No, I completely agree. I mean, like every now and then we see gas first builds, which much more rely on like the 7 and 8 minute. But overall, like between let's say 11 and 13 minutes, that's when Terran gets the 2 to 4 medevacs out on the map. Can start actually doing a little bit of drop damage, and if you do damage, if you get yourself in a good position, that's awesome. If you do absolutely 0 damage, well, you give the Protoss free reign, and Colossus are hard to deal with, and High Templars are hard to deal with. And if you put them together, that's when Terran.
Oh my god, I saw that smile. I saw your back arch and your pupils dilate and your foot cramp. Templar with Colossus. Oh yeah. Next match is getting started because guess what? We don't have downtime at AHGL. Not with commentators this good, Roddy.
Oh, I think it's all the host, Sean. I think it's all the host.
You always make uptime, Roddy. Uptime Roddy. That's actually a great nickname for you.
Why? Because I'm an uptown boy.
Look at you. Look at this. Map is now loading. It's going to be the Protoss Cicero from Team Google going up against Chashui from Team Amazon. Let's hit it. Heading directly into the game. It's currently a 1-0 lead for Amazon. And at the top right, or excuse me, in the bottom right-hand corner, the man who was on the interview minutes ago. It is Amazon's, watch this, Chashui! Oh my god, who's the funka now?
He was just in the house over here. He said hello and he wishes us all good luck and fun.
God, he's so good at witnessing games. And up in the top right-hand corner, hoping to put a win up on the board from Google, it is Cicero! Sometimes known as Ciceronage.
Now, of course, it's important to mention that Inferno Pools is a 4-player map, unlike Echo, so the players don't know where their opponents are spawning. And we've got the vertical spawning locations, which can be okay for Protoss, but can also be quite hard, because as soon as the first medevacs unload, it's a very easy way to, to get to the Protoss base.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this can be understated as we take a look at the mini-map, how much of a persistent threat this is. Because very often in StarCraft, you don't really need to actually do damage. You just need to have those persistent kind of threats available to your opponent, so that way he has to have some resources devoted there always. And Chashui going for gas first. Oh. He did say that Amazon loves the cheese, did he not?
Mm-hmm. Gas first is a very, very, very aggressive opening over here for Terran. There is a way, because this is such a large map, a lot of pro players will go for very macro-oriented builds. They won't have a lot of units. With this opening, it's possible for the Terran to get a Widow Mine and a bunch of Marines and a medevac in the Protoss base around the 7-minute mark. And, well, if you don't have detection and there's a Widow Mine in your mineral line, life's not good.
Oh my god. If he's going to proxy factory... No, he is just scouting.
Hey! He's actually going Nexus first, by the way. The Lord of Four Gates.
The Lord of Four Gates. Cicero, also known as the Traitor. Cicero, once again, formerly the team captain of Amazon. I have interviewed him as the captain of Amazon in times past, but he has worn the ring for too long. He has become a Googler. I'm mixing my fantasy references, but Cicero, now a valiant hero for a different banner.
Very unfortunate for Cicero that he gets scouted this quickly over here while going Nexus first on a map like Inferno Pools, and to make things worse, playing against the gas first opening by our Terran. Like, it's going to be extremely difficult for the Protoss to get detection in time, unless he decides to add a forge and maybe get a cannon in each mineral line. But that is very risky, because normally you worry about those medevacs, those bio units as well, and cannons can't run. So I'm a little bit worried for our Protoss body over here.
Uh-oh. Protoss friend. Is it actually going to... Or is it going to be Hellions? It is going to be Hellions. Okay, so this is another way of saying, all right, I want to open in a way that gives me map presence. And, of course, lets me... Oh, my God! Cicero walked straight into the sliding glass door as represented by this supply depot. But yeah, Chashui is now going to have a pretty good, impactful opening. And is he going to follow this up with Marauders? Oh, damn. The aggression is real. And immediately following it up with Widow Mines.
Okay, this is kind of a wild opening. I don't mind the first two Hellions, even against Nexus first as well, because as a Protoss, once again, you don't have a whole lot of units. So there is a good chance that these two Hellions can take down 3, 4, maybe even 5 probes. If one of the only 2 Protoss units that the Protoss currently has is out of position, Hellions are very fast and Protoss units are quite slow in this phase in the game.
Oh, Chashui looks like he's darting in, and one thing that's amazing about this Hellion opening is it's tricked Cicero into going for an extra gateway just to have enough defense to be able to build enough Stalkers to hold this off. Already some nice kills. As we can see, it looks like the worker killed count is staying strong at 6. Ugh.
Wow.
That's potent enough.
That's actually very, very good for the Terran.
Yeah, and now it's mass mine as a follow-up, and there's no detection. You're not going to get that late Oracle. That's not what you're going to do.
And even if you get an Oracle, it's so hard to control it properly and make sure it doesn't attract a mine, because my Oracles, they're like magnets for Widow Mines. And, you know, this is a build, like, I've lost a lot against a very similar opening like this. I'm not making this up, and this is actually so annoying to deal with, because you don't have any detection, you have very few units. The Mothership Core.
Oh no, Mothership Core at 100 health, and the Mothership Core, she doesn't get to toss out Photon Overcharge. So, I mean, what do? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's mines down here, there's a Marauder down there, and everyone knows that one Marauder can take out as many Stalkers as he wants to take out.
Especially if you have 2 Marauders and there's a Widow Mine in the mix as well. These Stalkers, they can't run either.
Oh! Double killed! Oh my gosh, Cicero is getting absolutely toasted by Chashui right now.
He's getting very unfortunate with the build he's chosen, and I must say our Terran has been executing it very well. The Hellions doing work. Here comes those mines.
Oh my god! Oh my god, they're revealing! The probes are trying to fight! No! Pick one! Pick one! Oh no! I don't want to control R. I don't want to... Oh god, 16 workers have been killed off. Oh my god, the cheese wheel is turning fast. It is turning hard. And right now, Cicero, still under duress, has no Mothership Core yet. Oh my god, the Oracle is actually going to run out of detection in a moment.
Yeah, he will have detection again within like 10 seconds or something. That window's not that long, but the problem is these Stalkers, they can't get close to the Marauders because they will lose the fight. There are mines in the mix as well. Ooh, that mine was very close to shooting at the Oracle, but this is just an army. Our Protoss player can't engage. This is horrible for him.
15 workers to 27 workers, assumed to emerge expansion. The Nexus may very well have to fall. Cicero might go out not with a bang.
These Amazon builds are reckless over here, Sean. They're reckless.
Full of wrecking, I think is what you mean.
Yes.
This build is a true Wreckaroni build, as Chashui floods out masses of Hellions, masses of Marauders. Now, this is a sort of unusual opportunity for Cicero. He took some massive damage, but Chashui wasn't building out any infrastructure to be able to be threatening. So at this point, really, it's just these Marauders up against just these. Never mind. There's soon to be no units for Cicero. Single force field. A secret that he shall hold forever to his heart. Cicero is trying to Chrono Boost back out probes again. It looks like there's going to be the choice for Chashui to follow up with a factory to go kind of mech-y-ish. Huh?
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. He had a few more Widow Mines in his main base as well. That he is like, in case the Oracle flies to my main, and maybe it will fly into one of the mines. Well, since that didn't happen, he just picked up a bunch of mines, and he's gonna head towards the main base. And there is still not a whole lot of detection over here, Sean. That Oracle is out of position. Oh god.
Oh.
No, I can't watch. No!
Oh god! Oh, there's 9 probes left. Good game, Chashui with the cheese. Going to 2-0. As I go to my oh-so-glorious scoreboard, that means that Chashui has brought the series to 2-0 in favor of the Amazon. Pain Forest is the name that they say. Can Mantric, the unofficial brand new team captain, pull it back together? Oof.
Sean, my Protoss heart is dying inside over here. Like,
I know. I like, you didn't see this because it was off camera, but there were tears streaming down Roddy's face. He mourns for every probe personally.
No, that's, you know, credits, of course. We gotta give credit where credit is due. And the build by Chashui is interesting. It worked out extremely well against Nexus first. You know, the Hellion opening is something that may work, may not work, but the Marauder Widowmine combination is so damn effective early game against Protoss, especially if Protoss doesn't open up with a quick robo and you don't have an observer, because like you mentioned, one Marauder can kill infinite amount of Stalkers. And then
doesn't matter, yeah.
And then whenever you like feel like, okay, maybe I can actually chase this Marauder down, then there are mines, you have to avoid those mines. Like, I've died against very similar builds. There's one Terran on Europe that keeps on doing it, and God, do I hate that guy.
Yeah, I love it. You're just like, I hate him.
Yeah,
I hate him. If he died right now, I'd be like, nice.
No, that goes a little far.
No, it's a little far. Oh, if he died, you'd be like, well, don't have to worry about that build anymore. Well,
let's say if his computer would die and I will never play him on ladder again, you know, like, I'll be like, okay. You know,
like, okay, I accept. Well, we're going to go ahead and step away to a brief break right now. Amazon is leading the series 2-0, and in front of you, we're watching the Hearthstone cast that was ever so graciously co-casted by Trump. In that series, Amazon did start off leading 2-0. Oh. And then they got reverse 3-2 by Microsoft to go to the decider match. Ooh, that's a tough pill for Amazon to have swallowed. Though Amazon overcame and did eventually win the Hearthstone finals, can they do it again? Stay tuned, because when we come back, it's going to be game number 3. It's time for game number 3. It's going to be Amazon going up against Google Glass. And right now, Amazon is leading 2-0 with some cheese. And a great timing attack by Zavid in game number 1.
Game number 3 is going to be a ZVT. That's going to be our first ZVT of the day. We haven't seen it yet. And it's going to be played on Iron Fortress, another 4-player map.
Yeah, and Iron Fortress is a map that I would say has a deceptively uncomfortable third base. It's the one that just, it seems like it's a good old fine standard normal third base, but then all of a sudden there's that dirty little back door. And the Zerglings are like, oh, I love this entrance, oh. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, the man whose sultry voice was heard round the world during the pregame interview. It is Google Glass's Mantric. And at the far opposite end, there's some sort of emergency going on. In the top right, it's Amazon's Anathorn. Anathorn.
It's a badass nickname.
So good, so good.
Alright, so we got a cross-map scenario over here, Sean. So unlike what we just had on the Inferno Pools, where it was a 4-player map, but the players spawned in vertical positions, this time it's going to be cross-map. And that has to favor the Google player a little bit. You know, this being a ZVT on a very wide open map over here, it can be very difficult for a Terran to march across the map and, you know, not step on creep, not get flanked by Baylings. So maybe this is the moment where Google is going to catch some momentum in this series.
And of course, for any of you who didn't know, the gentleman down in the bottom left, Mantric, was the captain for Facebook last season when they won the After Hours Gaming League SC2 B League. And by B League, we mean we actually have several divisions for the games in AHGL, because we just don't want to force people who are, you know, gold and bronze to have to play against Grandmasters. We think that that's sort of against the goal of having fun. Oh yeah, you're bronze against a Grandmaster. Well, get better, noob. Get out of the league. Best of 1. Yeah. So no, they so Mantric is now stepping up here for Team Google, and like you were talking about earlier, these long distances are so nice. This third, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before the cast, but I mean, this back entrance is surprisingly frustrating to deal with. Not just in terms of, you know, the obvious Zergling or maybe an early game Hellion run by, but even for drops, the fact that you can bounce back and forth between these two expansions so easily while walking on ground ends up being a kind of a tricky thing for the Zergy Zergs to deal with.
Absolutely, and even because of like that assimilator as well, it's kind of annoying to wall off in multiple matchups. You know, it's not just like, okay, let me just drop like one big building over here. It's like, no, you have to build an entire sim city around that thing. It's just very frustrating, and it happens on every level. Or even today, one of the days that we casted in WCS, the big Premier StarCraft 2 League, you see Zerglings just run there over and over again, sneak in, just kill SCVs, kill probes. It does not stop.
Anathorn's going to have to be absolutely watchful of those Zergling counterattacks. He did play Terran since the original StarCraft, so hopefully he's going to use those mini-map watching skills, as Terran has always tended to be about. The timing attacks, the careful watchfulness.
He's going to split his Marines like a god, Day9.
Like a god, literal god. And I like this prudent scouting. He's going to have mistimed it just a smidge as this Zergling is... Excuse me, this Zergling. Whoops. Oh my god, I'm sorry. This is not a Zergling. This is an Overlord. I promise you I've played this game. Mistimed this just a little bit. The Overlord is going to get out with his life. And Anathorn doing a very defensive opening. He's getting out many Marines before doing anything else. What are your thoughts on this sort of opening?
It's gonna slow his Hellions down a little bit, and in general you want to get those Hellions out as quick as possible, but I did think it was kind of cute. He went on the hunt with those 2 Marines. It's always a little bit of a guessing game, because nobody forces a Zerg to send their Overlords in a certain way, but sometimes as a Terran player you can get lucky, man. You know, you go all out, you go all out, or all night out to hunt Overlords, and sometimes you get lucky. Unfortunately he didn't, but I like the idea behind it.
Hellions coming up a little bit late, but I mean, 7 Marines is actually enough to do some sort of follow-up aggression. Oh, and he is! We see Anathorn going for the armory right away. Interesting. And given the fact that... Oh no, the Overlord's in the wrong spot. Can it get on top? And... Oh, this is a huge blow for Mantric, who's actually generally wanting to rely heavily on that Overlord to do the spotting. And there's a Hellbat push incoming right away.
I'm actually confused that Overlord was in the wrong spot. It seemed like it was okay. I guess it had to be more towards the middle of that little pillar.
I mean, I guess so. Huh.
I had no idea what gave him vision over there.
But I mean, it looks like the spider sense is going crazy for Mantric right now. He immediately built not just a Baneling nest, but also a second gas geyser.
What? There are SCVs coming, John. Why are there SCVs going across the map? Yes.
He's got 4 SCVs. Maybe he's going to try to wall them in. Another barracks coming down. This is, I guess.
I mean, if the Zerg player wouldn't have built anything, then this. Oh, he can repair the helmets. That's so sick. He's breaking the meta over here.
Oh my god, Mantric has a soul read on Anathorn right now. Sees the Hellbats going, is going to steer them away from the Banelings. More Banelings coming up. They're going to be trapped. Does he have enough, though? I mean, the Banelings are good, but this is a pretty scary force this early on.
It's very difficult to engage this army of Marines. There are a couple of Banelings coming in from the north side. They will connect with the majority of the Marines, but these Hellbats are still alive. Ooh, those Banelings getting some really juicy connections.
And these do have light armor, so the Banelings... Oh my god, that's the hit he needed! Anathorn is going to be able to thwart this early attack. But there's more Hellions coming in. They're doing a little bit more standard Hellion-like killing on the drones. Mantric, oh my god. Mantric is lining them up. Quickly, spread out! Spread out! Flee! Oh no. I mean, the kill count right now is at 15. And in the natural expansion, it looks like everything's finally starting to stabilize. Mantric just ensuring that his natural expansion is clear before finally going to his 3rd base and eliminating that. But I mean, if I ask the question who came out ahead or behind in that, it's a little hard to tell. We see in the main base for Anathorn.
He needs a wall of at home real quick though, Sean. Like, he has 2 Hellbats, but okay, he's already working on his SimCity. It's very important, because before the doors were wide open, and if those Zerglings would have got a surround up very quickly, he almost had no units, but I think now our Terran is going to be fine.
He's got to be careful. Those Hellbats die pretty fast.
Oh god, that's a lot of Banelings. That is more than just a few Banelings, and he doesn't have a great economy, so it's very risky. I actually don't think that he should be going for this.
Well, right now, Terran has not started Stim. Oh, just started Stim. No upgrades. This is a big moment. Anathorn getting assaulted on. The Zerglings get a great surround on the Hellbats. Down they go instantly. It's just Hellions right now. No Hellions in production. It's literally just this one single bad boy trying to keep it alive. And of course, he's way too boss. There was not a threat of him ever not holding it off. But Anathorn, he doesn't have a good long-term setup in his main base. There's no double engineering bay. But Mantric is himself behind a little bit too, so...
Yeah, he has 4 Rexes, so he's going to be able to produce quite a few Marines. Of course, the Zerg took a lot of economic damage earlier, but slowly but steady, he has replenished all the drones that he's lost. He's back up to 45, he's on 3 hatcheries, he's already making a few Zerglings and Banelings again. I think a Zerg is going to be okay if he survives the next big attack from our Amazon player.
And I would love, love, love to see exactly this follow-up out of Mantric. One where he is not going to go crazy trying to get up Spire, trying to control the map, trying to harass. He's just going to go for the long term. He's going to get his 1-1 upgrades. He's going to play it safe. He's going to drone up. Mantric really has a good grip on a solid follow-up. Spreading his overlords out. This is actually something that's hard to remember to do during this period where Terran might not have as comfortable a map control. To just get overlords into these far back regions where you want to monitor drops.
I still have a smile on my face because of the SCVs. I was like, why are there SCVs going across the map? And then suddenly he's like, oh, that's right, you can actually repair helmets as well. It was a little bit unfortunate. Those Banelings got like the best connections on those Marines, because otherwise I really think like that little SCV pool could have made the difference, and those helmets would have just never died.
Roddy, Hellbats have 2 insurance cards. They can get the medevac insurance, they can also get the SCV insurance. They're just so healthy. Looks like 1-1 upgrades en route, but man, I mean, Anathorn, very watchful. These were late engineering bays, but once he built them, he's really on point. And I think that's always a good sign about a player's mental state. When they're thrown off build order, this is clearly not a elegant situation that Anathorn has found himself in, but he is on point getting all those upgrades started, and this is a very dangerous spot. But Mantric's played it out great, no Spire.
No, he doesn't have a Spy yet, and he has a little bit of static defenses, and he has a couple of Banelings with speed. He's getting good connections, because splitting a little bit. I mean, our Terran had quite a big army supply lead. He had like 50 army supply against 20, but those Banelings, they pretty much got the connections he needs, but he needs a few more.
Yeah, and hilariously, the extra stims have hurt Anathorn more than it's helped him, and now just Zerglings are going to be able to clean up these Marines. And if we take a look at the Army Supply tab, I mean, it's 28-20 workers in favor of Zerg, 17 workers killed, but remember, workers killed is not a declaration of game state, it's about current workers. And now we see Anathorn. Oh, actually, I completely missed that. That's a very nice little slip-in. He successfully built an orbital command during all of that. So, I mean, gosh, Anathorn's really impressing me with his ability to work his way back to a legitimate, solid game status.
Yeah, the Spire is late, so he's still gonna have quite a bit of time to relax and chill out. But our Zerg is rich, though. He's on 70 drones over 3 bases. That is pretty much perfect saturation that he has going for himself. So from this point on, we're gonna see a ridiculous amount of Zerglings and Banelings. And if he doesn't take care of the creep, like splitting is always difficult, but splitting on creep is borderline impossible.
Oh yeah, but I really feel like it's the timing here that's going to help out Anathorn, because very often you'll see Zergs kind of fall into grooves where they say, aha, he can't attack me now. Aha, I'm going to be droning. And when the game gets thrown into kind of a crazy situation like this, it's always about who has better in-game judgment. And Anathorn right now, oh my gosh, target firing that 4th base. See you later, no chance that's ever going to finish. And the Spire's only just now wrapping up, so... Oh...
I mean, that's a lot of Banelings, but those splits off creep actually...
Oh, wow! Oh my gosh! Oh, Anathorn! Anathorn!
That was so good, Sean. That was actually really, really, really good. I can't believe he just plays Marines like that.
That was a beautiful split, and that's what's so awesome about these sort of funky, fluid timings that we see. I mean, with splitting like that, I mean, you can have all sorts of weird situations, and as long as you have a Marine and a chair, you're going to be okay.
that was just really damn good. He can pick up a couple of these units as well and just get the hell out of there. A few Banelings do blow up, but not really getting a whole lot done. Of course, our Zerg still has money in the bank. He has a macro hatchery as well, so he can still produce a lot of Zerglings. He has Mutalisk out right now, so it's not like Mantric is dead. Like, despite losing a 4th base, he's definitely not dead yet. He has a lot of money, but he needs to make sure he doesn't take any economic damage right now.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Mantric is just exploiting the fact that Anathorn's getting a little over-eager. There is a drop down at the far bottom side, but barely manages to stay alive. Up in the top left, we see Mantric easily picking off this assault, but this is where there's a big risk of the Terran player starting to fall behind. He's managed to deal a lot of damage. Looks like he's picked up another 20 workers over the course of those 2 assaults. But if Terran is over-aggressive, he can start to slowly slip in his lead.
Yeah, Anathorn has been like over-mining over his 2 bases. He's been dropping mules like crazy on them. He also had 33 probes. Oh my god, he's transferring a lot of SCVs towards the 3rd base.
Oh my god! That's a tremendous pickup! Oh my gosh, Google's Mantric doing work on the economy, but Anathorn refuses to turn, continuing to send forward Hellbat, Marine, Marauder. I mean, Mantric, I actually can't tell who's in a better or worse situation. 49 workers still remain, but if Zerg loses, Geysers 5 and 6, that 3rd base goes down. That's going to be terrible for Google.
Yeah, we have 15 Banelings, but a couple of them are on the other side of the map, so our Zerg player has to get him back to his side of the map as quick as possible, but losing that hatch and losing all these drones, you know, that hurts so much. Yes, he killed a lot of SCVs, but he also lost his own hatchery, and of course Terran still has a lot of mules.
Talked about how much his heart would pound in situations like this. Terran not letting up aggression one bit. Hidden expansion in the bottom right, more Marines, more Zerglings, all getting hurled at each other, but Mantric is going to come out on top, barely. We see more Terran units trying to scout around. Great in-moment scouting by Anathorn. I mean, even though he's in a little bit of a funky position, I mean, his general focus is great.
He needs to just transfer a lot of the SCVs that were idling in his main base towards this 3rd base, and that's exactly what he's doing over here. They're all on their way, and as soon as he starts mining from this base again with the mules that he has, he's able to pump out Marines like crazy, and I think then he's going to take the advantage in a minute or 2 from now on. But, you know, it took a while. He could have had that base saturated already, so he's still in a little bit of a pickle because there are a lot of Banelings out on the map. But of course, you know, Zerg taking so much economic damage as well. Starting to look better and better, I think, for the Amazon Terran over here.
Yeah, this is a very close game in terms of, you know, workers killed off. They've both taken some pretty significant losses. They are neck and neck in army supply, though. An interesting decision, though, for Anathorn is that we see no Widow Mines. And, you know, as the Terran army gets larger and as the Zerg army gets larger, I mean, don't you think there's some necessity to have a pretty solid amount of Hellbats? Or do you think he can just go straight bomber mode and never get mines ever?
I mean, if he keeps splitting like he did before, he doesn't need no Widow Mine shell. Like, those splits.
I'm sorry, I should have thought before I spoke.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
No, but of course you are right. And, like, it's gonna help out a lot because look at those Baneling numbers. They are climbing. We already had like 20 Banelings on the map. It's gonna get 20 more. So we're looking at almost 40 Banelings. Like, yeah, you have to split your Marines like Bomber if you want to survive against 40 Banelings. But those splits, they impress me so much that I don't rule it out of the question. Like, I can see it happen.
Oh, beautiful timing right now for Anathorn. Moving out when there are 11 drones in production right now. And here Zerg sees that here's the step in. Mantric is going to try to distract, but we've seen Anathorn. Anathorn just likes to go straight out. Now, he does have Burrow. I don't know if there's any specific Burrow Banelings around the map, but he's rushing straight for the Marines and manages to get reasonable hits. But reasonable is not going to be good enough against Anathorn. He is sprinting in with everything. Units, 12 Zerglings, 13 Mutalisks, that's it. Main base taking some hits. Mutalisks are forced to retreat. A trio of turrets going to deny assault on the 3rd base. And Anathorn just all-out aggression.
Those splits were actually really good again, Sean. We almost had 40 Banelings on the map. Now we only have 6 Banelings remaining. 3 of them are gonna roll in. They do get good connections, but with these medevacts over here, it seems like these bio units are just going to town on this hatchery that's being upgraded to a layer. We've got just a bunch of layers going down right now. I'm not sure why that's happening.
Oh no, he must have hit something wrong. We don't need this many layers on the map right now. We see these Mutalisks are still trying their best to assault, to counterattack, to do whatever damage they can. A boatload of Banelings march right on in. Finally, it looks like Mantric has managed to stabilize, and perhaps this goal of counterattacking aggressively is actually going to pay off for him. We see how many barracks are there right now. I mean, we see in terms of structures tab, there's actually 4 barracks. There's 4 barracks? There's going to be 3 barracks? That's kind of a weirdly sick move right now. Wait, is Mantric starting to stabilize here? And the supply counts are close. He's going for those massive upgrades. He really has to cancel these layers, so this is...
Yeah. He had one more on the way as well. That's actually a very unfortunate misclick because those counterattacks did do very well. But 4 layers, you know, that's just a giant waste of money. But he's still in this one. He's getting 15 Bailings. Despite the fact that Anathorn is only on 3 Rexes, at least all of them have a reactor. So he is able to produce 6 Marines at a time. You know, that's something at least.
We see 2, 3, 4 barracks going down all around. Oh my god, how sick will the splits be? Mantric has to be careful. You don't have to engage off creep. Terran is feeling the pressure. Terran's feeling like, I have to crush my Zerg opponent because I only have 1 mining base, and these Mutalisks from Mantric refuse to head home. I really feel like those Mutalisks at home could be the tide turner, could be the thing that cleans up Anathorn and gives the momentum all the way back to Google in full.
Especially because those Metavacs, it will just never stop healing these units that are out on the map. I mean, they are doing a very good job in intercepting all the reinforcements that are trying to make the push stronger. They're gonna start working on the add-ons. That's a good idea as well.
He's got to be careful not to lose too many Mutalisks. He's getting distracted. He's been sending units to try to deal with this drop, and in the meantime, he's losing all of his Mutalisks. Oh no! Mantric needs to get them out. Meanwhile, at the 3rd base, which I guess technically is the 2nd base now, Mantric is still pulling an extremely narrow defense. No, it looks like he does not quite have enough. But of course, Mantric is still inches away from surviving this. He just needs to collect himself together. He's elected to build 9 drones. Oh no, that might be the nail in the coffin. This expansion appears to be on the verge of falling, and Anathorn continues his streak of eliminating every single worker. Oh no, Mantric marching too many Mutalisks and 96 workers killed.
It's been a drone massacre. It's not been a good day to be a drone, that's for sure. Mantric still had a couple of Banelings tucked away in his natural. He could have really used them. A few good connections. And maybe he was able to stabilize that because he did have all these hatcheries. It's been a very action-packed game though, Sean.
Yeah, this has been a pretty incredible back and forth series between these two players. I mean, at this point in time, Mantric is assaulting the 3rd/4th. I mean, this hidden base from Mantric is really his only saving grace at this point. This expansion hardly has anything defending it at this point.
Yeah, I'm afraid there are just too many Terran units right now on the Zerg side of the map. Few Baneling or a few Mutalisks trying to chase these Metavacs, but it actually means that they will get picked up as well. These splits, Sean, these are way better splits than I ever expected to see today. I don't split my Marines like that, you know. I'm a Protoss player, I keep my army together, but Anathorn has some sick splits.
F2, 1A, I'm right there with you, brother. Yeah, we see all the bases have fallen down 21 supply, 124 workers killed. GG, Amazon amazingly leads the series 3-0 at this point.
I'm really not trying to make this bigger than this, but sometimes in WCS you even see players get nervous and they won't even split the Marines like this, and you read on the forums, it's like, is there no foreigner anymore that knows how to split his Marines? Well, bam, Anathorn is here. You should sign up, Sean.
He is your foreigner right now to do oh so well in this grand final where we have Google Glass going up against Amazon Painforest. I mean, we talked about this before, how Amazon suffered a 4-0 defeat the last time they were in the grand finals. But here, they are really pulling it together, having a huge variety of builds. I mean, Roddy, their gameplay has just been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, all of the builds have been pretty damn unique so far. I would say the Zerg player in game number 1, he opened up pretty solid, right? Like, he just went from Dazzlers into Roaches. That was just a build that we see very often, even at the highest level of plays. Then game number 2, we saw that crazy Widow or Hellion into Widowmine play. It was cheesy, but extremely effective. And in this game, you know, we see SCVs running across the map at the 7-minute mark. I was just like, what are they going to do? It's like, oh, okay, they're going to repair the Hellbats. And it's like, well, that went well, but I'm not sure if that went well enough. And then suddenly he just splits his Marines like Moses, as you know, the Muslim once upon a time said. That was awesome. It was great.
Well, the series is 3-0 right now, and when we come back, it's going to be game number 4. With right now, we see good old Metzelmats from Amazon has the opportunity to close it out. Can GreenCRV mount the comeback? We'll find out soon here on the AHGL SC2 Grand Finals. Goodness, oh my gosh, Roddy, you have talked at great length about how difficult it is to deal with nerves, and now we have GreenCRV, the Zerg player, on Vani Research Station going up against Metzelmats representing Amazon. So Metzelmats, his team's up 3-0, he just needs to quick and dirty clean this one out. But if you're GreenCRV, I mean, have you been in a situation in like clan wars or team fights where it's all on you and your team's like, come on, we're going to get eliminated. Don't lose.
Yeah. No, it can really get to you for sure. Like, I've been in a couple of those moments a long time ago. In Warcraft 3, we had a lot of those leagues, the NGL, the WC3L, and you know, those games when it's like the ace match or like when you're actually just fighting for keeping your team alive, they often mean more to you than the 1v1 tournaments. Like when you're playing for yourself, obviously you want to do well, and you know, you want to win prize money and whatnot, but when you know that your entire team is watching you, when you know they're discussing the game together and they all want you to win, so you keep the dream alive, you know, those are actually the moments that gaming is just the most fun, that competitive gaming is the most fun, and if you do well, that's just a huge satisfaction, it's a huge relief, but you definitely do feel the pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, given the fact that the matchup is a Zerg versus Zerg, where one Baneling hit can change everything, the map is a Vani research station, so that means that at the very least, GreenCRV can wall himself in a little more comfortably and safely secure himself an early expand. But up in the top corner, he's going to have a little bit of miracle work to assist him in this match. In the top corner, representing Team Google. He prepared for this match by eating burritos, ramen, and other brain food, according to his pre-match stat sheet. He is none other than GreenCRV. Wait, what does this icon say? Maybe cake, always cheese. Atta boy, GreenCRV. Down in the bottom corner from Team Amazon. He works as a senior buyer for Amazon.de, and he enjoys sports, guitar, and droning. It's Amazon's Metzelmats. With a logo that says Clamazon, in shells we trust. I like a little lighthearted humor.
You know, like, I wouldn't have been too surprised if we see just a crazy cheese over here from our Amazon player, Metzelmats. Like, your team is up 3-0. You can kind of do what you want. You can roll the dice a little bit if you want to, you know. Like, if you lose one, no big deal. Your team is still up 3-1. But like you said, you can also just try to make it quick and easy and maybe a little dirty and just clean this one, you know, clean it up. Close it out.
I would love to see a standard, stable, solid play out of our Northern Zerg GreenCRV from Google. I mean, Metzelmats is playing, I think, what is a reasonable style, which is, well, I don't really want to take any risks. I'm just going to go for what is normative. I'm going to get my pool first. I'm going to get my hatch later. GreenCRV says, nope, I'm not only going to get hatch first, I'm going to go hatch, drone. I'm that confident, man. Can't touch me.
Yeah, extremely economic opening over here. And that also shows some courage and confidence because once again, this is, you know, everything is on the line right here, right now. Google needs to win 4 maps in a row. He could have got cheese if his opponent would have gone for a 10-pool Baneling, or for instance, this would be borderline impossible to hold. But right now, he's actually in a pretty good position. You know, he is having a much more economic opening than his opponent.
Yeah, it looks like the extractor coming out early from Metzelmats. This can often it's just like a very big defensive precaution. I much prefer the more muscular Zerg style we're seeing out of CRV, where he's not getting any gas. He's not interested in getting anything but a layer and a bunch of queens to withstand some early aggression. We saw this out of Zavid from Amazon right out the gate. And Metzelmats, I think the big question for him is he going to invest in Zergling speed early? We see a pair of Zerglings already moving out right now for Metzelmats to get a little bit of scooting information, and GreenCRV is just like, nope, Paralings, right back to droning, and still no gas out of GreenCRV.
Yeah, you already mentioned it, Sean. Vani Research Station is one of the easiest maps to just defend any sort of 2-base aggression, because you got the natural, or you got your in-base expand. It's an in-base expand, you know, you can go up to 2 bases while only defending a single ramp. It's a very tight ramp as well. 2 queens will completely wall it off for you. You can get 1 Cryptomore down, and then the Spine Crawler will be protecting those queens as well. So I do feel with the way that Metzelmats has been playing this, he kind of needs to make something happen. Otherwise, you know, he's playing from behind, and it's actually going to be quite a bit behind. He's already down 3-4 drones, and he's investing in Zergling speed, which you need to do something with it. Otherwise, it's not worth the investment.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying, I completely agree with. But there's one question in my mind, which is, where is GreenCRV's gas? Because normally, you know, going to around 28 supply to build those geysers is pretty reasonable, pretty understandable. But here, he's already walled in. I mean, I hope he didn't just forget to gas. Because
Double gas at 530. That's all right. I would say that's acceptable.
There we go. And there's the Roach Warren also coming. Yeah, there we go. But a lot of the timing attacks that exist from a very fast layer have already gone past for GreenCRV. In the back, we see Metzelmats just continuing to drone as well. And like you said, if you get Zergling speed, you don't really get to do much with it. It can be a little tilting. And especially GreenCRV getting to scout the layer right as it begins. This is going to be a clear signal to responsively throw down a layer for GreenCRV.
Yep, and it could also be the moment where he's like, maybe I should make a roach timing attack. As soon as my roach run is done, let's start producing some roaches.
Wow. GreenCRV, look at this. He's going to first mine some minerals, and then he's going to expand. Look at that. He wants to take those $8 to the grave with him. And we see 3 drones being produced. And no doubt a layer soon, but this is a very cool build from GreenCRV. It's starting to make sense why he delayed gassing. He wasn't interested in doing some sort of techie timing attack. He's just interested in building up. Solid Wop double Evo chamber, likely going to start 1-1 before layer. Dude, he's all beefy, GreenCRV. He's a straight hoss.
It's probably going to be Spire though from our opponent, and there is. I mean, if he's able to keep this hatchery up before the Mutalisk make their way across the map, and there will be queens there. He drops a single Spore Crawler. We already saw in our first map of the day how incredibly good Spore Crawlers are against Mutas.
Oh god.
Then things do look very good for GreenCRV because he's at a better economy. He's gonna go up to 3 bases very quickly.
Ooh.
He's gonna lose one of his queens over here, and there's a lot of Zerglings streaming across the map, Sean, and we don't have that many roaches just yet.
Oh, 2 more getting produced right now, but the main ramp is open. It is exposed. And we're seeing just an attempted straight surround right now, and good positioning here from GreenCRV for more roaches getting made. And exactly like you said, if this 3rd hatch can stay alive, GreenCRV is going to be in great shape, but he has to cancel.
Okay, this is really good for our Amazon player because he's going to get full map control. He doesn't have to sacrifice these Zerglings, he should just back off. He did already everything that he wanted to ever do. He got a cancel on that hatch, and he got a couple of roaches. This is good enough. You don't want to lose these links right now.
1 queen falls at the front line. Anything to weaken the defense is going to be huge. Now, this 1-1 timing attack, these are about 100 seconds away, as is speed. So a massive 1-1 roach attack is going to be quite potent. 44 drones already out for GreenCRV, and I mean, if I'm in his shoes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flood roaches, build a few spore crawlers, and then I'm going to prepare for a massive roach counterattack, which is very tough to defend as Metzelmats has basically a naked 3rd base. And Metzelmats...
But he's gonna get Mutalisk though, Sean. Like, I think he's going to be more than okay. I don't think that GreenCRV can attack over here because we already have a first Mutalisk out. This Muta number is going to climb rapidly, and he's gonna get full map control. He's gonna snipe Overlords. So I think I really like where this is going for our Amazon Zerg Metzelmats.
Yeah, Metzelmats is definitely going to have map control, but I mean, 1-1 roaches, it is so hard for Mutalisk to deal any damage to 1-1 roaches. And like we talked about, spine crawlers, spore crawlers are pretty good against Mutalisks. They're pretty gosh darn good. And we see already the roaches are 1-0. They're starting to move out. Glial Reconstitution is a few seconds away. And are they going to run straight into the Mutalisk? It looks like yes, they are. They absolutely have to be careful. But this could potentially be.
The Muta count is very high already.
Wow, he's still making Mutas too. He's not transitioning to roaches at all. And there's the speed upgrade. +1 Carapace is almost done, which is essential against Mutalisks. And right now it's no Zerglings. It's just 14 Mutalisks.
Yeah, all these roaches are probably going to work on this hatchery perhaps immediately. There are a couple of Zerglings to mess with the AI over here though. Like, I think this is a hold for Metzelmats. He has a lot of Mutalisks out. This is not 6 or 7 Mutalisks. We're looking at 14 to 16 Mutalisks. That is pretty damn high DPS.
He's got to split those roaches up. He has to be hitting multiple places at once. They're all sort of rallied into the same place. The Mutalisk count is insanely high at 17 with no goal or hope of trying to transition to anything else. I mean, Amazon might have their first AHGL championship in SC2 here with just a clean 4-0 right now. I mean, GreenCRV is trying to step in. It's 54 to only 38 drones. Oh no.
And the Muta count is ridiculously high. These roaches still being rallied across the map. I don't even know how many spore crawlers we have at home. We've got a couple, so at least he has that going for himself. Maybe he could try to drag this game out a little bit further, but it's going to be so hard for GreenCRV to ever even attack. Like, how do you attack when your opponent has 22 Mutalisks?
There's Burrow, there's Roach Speed getting added. Yes, Spore Crawlers fire an insane high DPS to air, but it's gone in seconds. And suddenly GreenCRV is starting to realize, oh my gosh, I might not even have enough Spore Crawlers to defend this attack. Mutalisk count gets ripped down a little bit by that Spore Crawler, but there's no more anti-air in this main, save for the Spore Crawler that's way out of position. GreenCRV had a solid opening, but Amazon is closing this out in clean, solid style. It's GG! Amazon with the 4-0. Amazon, ladies and gentlemen, is your After Hours Gaming League Season 5 champion for StarCraft 2 in the swiftest 4-0. Complete and utter domination. Ermagerd. Ermagerd. Oh, Amazon. $5,000 going to Child's Play. Not just from this match, but also from the previous Hearthstone finals that Amazon also won. This is a huge day for Team Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely, and they deserve this victory. Like, all 4 games, I mean, 2 or 3 I would say were pretty damn close, but they just looked really well. It looked like they prepared, they had their builds, you know, like they knew which matchup they were going to play, and they already mentioned it. We've practiced those matchups, and you could see it. Like, there were just a couple of very well chosen builds, and I would even say, like, even better execution of those builds. And my personal highlight is still Anathorn Game 3 Iron Fortress. Like, those switch on. When I close my eyes tonight, like, I've seen a lot of StarCraft today. I had the WCS first, now the After Hours Gaming League. But when I close my eyes, I will see those Marines from Anathorn just like avoid Phalanx.
Anathorn, oh, music to my ears. Metzelmats with a solid, clean closeout. Once again, Amazon is your grand champion. And I think the most appropriate thing to do is to talk to Chashui, the team captain of Amazon, to find out how everyone up in Amazon is doing right now. We're going to get him on the phone right away. Oh, yes, Chashui. He's being called. Are you there, Chashui?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations!
Thank you. This is really awesome. Like, we are incredibly stoked to win, especially with a team with multiple fathers on it, taking time away from our dedication to the game. And all the fathers want to dedicate the victory to the respective 1-year-olds and 2-year-old sons.
Oh my god, to future pro gamers is what you're saying to me.
Exactly.
You know, like, I know Amazon has not only been, again, since Season 1, but also has gone pretty deep every season. And this is your first big StarCraft 2 championship. What does it mean to you guys?
Everything, I guess. It's without words.
Well, I'm gonna make you give me more words, because this is an interview, Chashui. I mean, is there already a buzz among the rest of your team members? I don't know if they're there.
Oh yeah, everyone was in the hangout chatting about this, getting super hyped. The team is about to go mob the Raygun Lounge where the Seattle party was taking place.
Yeah, baby.
Show up and show the faces and revel in the esports joy.
Any specific celebrations you're going to be doing this evening, Chashui?
Probably a couple of beers at that lounge.
Attaboy. Now, of course, I have to ask a little bit about first zooming straight into Game 2, where you were going up against your traitorous teammate Cicero, who was over on Team Google. That build you prepared was particularly cheesy. Tell me about that.
It looks really cheesy, but actually it plays out in a very, very stable way. Has lots of good transitions into a long mech game with Hellbat tank pushes, options for Banshees, Vikings. It's actually as someone who doesn't do very well against storms, it's a really solid way to play.
Well, awesome. Well, I mean, like, did you just stumble upon the strategy through typical laddering, like refining it there, or was this something you prepared deliberately against Cicero?
I've actually been doing the classic Wings of Liberty 2 racks with the Reactor Tech Lab on ladder and in previous AHGL matches a lot, and getting a lot of success with that. So I figured that he'd be scouting me and seeing that that's what I was going to do. And so I dug back further into a build that I was using a lot last season, actually.
Yeah.
And pulled something that it's really a coin flip for him what he's going to prepare for, because they're entirely different preparations.
And in terms of, the sort of lineup going forward, you guys were already up 2-0, and Anathorn coming out on Iron Fortress. He seemed very solid. In fact, Roddy is now obsessed with his splits.
He should be. We are incredibly impressed with him. Anathorn used to be a GM on the Latin server before children and life hit him, and then recently this year he joined us over at Amazon, and we are super excited to add more Terrans to our lineup.
Well, awesome. And we saw Mantric, try to put up a good defense, but my God, those splits were so sick. And I got to ask about the last game, Metzelmats choosing to go Mass Mutalisk with not even a roach transition in sight. Did you learn a little bit about what his goals for his style were?
Matthias Metzelmats is just the Iron Zerg. He is our German player. It is, right now, it's like 3 or 4 a.m. for him. So he's been up a lot. 4?
Yes.
Yeah, 4 a.m. for him. So he's probably just super zone focused on trying to take the win home, and saw the path to victory as Mutalisks.
What a boss. Hope he tucks himself into bed and dreams of his own victory to close it out. Now that you've won, I gotta ask you, Chashui, please give a little shout out to Child's Play. Tell us once again, who is Child's Play, and why should the viewers here support them and their organization?
Child's Play is a charity that was founded by Penny Arcade, kind of under the premise of trying to give back and show that gamers really are a good contribution to society, and doing it by bringing video games into children's hospitals, especially for kids that are undergoing terminal care for terminal illnesses, or just under the weather for quite some extended hospital stay, by bringing in just tons and tons of varieties of video games, consoles. And so it's really about making children that are in a really bad situation feel better and be able to go on a little journey, even if they can't leave their room.
Oh, and of course, for anyone watching who is in support of such a noble cause, go to childsplaycharity.org/donate to show your support, or at the very least, just go to childsplaycharity.org and give a shout out to Team Amazon that not only provided one $5,000 donation, but 2 as a result of the Hearthstone performance. You guys had a great final season here at HGL. Roddy, any questions you have for the illustrious captain of Team Amazon?
First of all, of course, congratulations. Were some very entertaining games for us to watch, and also very beautiful speeches. Now, nonetheless, I would like to ask, maybe you have like a word for all the StarCraft players around the world. Like, everybody loves StarCraft, and a lot of people or at least, we all love it, and a lot of people love playing it as well, but they're always afraid to get competitive because people feel like they're not good enough, or they're afraid of losing. But obviously, it seems that, this league, it's all about participating, having fun. So what do you have to say about those people that may want to be competitive but feel like they're not good enough?
The only way to get good is to play.
But the only way to have fun is to play, am I right?
That's true too. Until you get to that point where you kind of like, there's the real gamers hate games phenomena, where you get to that point where you just batter your head, but you got to push through that.
You guys did an admirable job of not just having a blast, but of kicking ass. Getting 5K to charity. So Chashui, thank you once again. Amazon, Pain Forest, going out with the 5K first place prize, which pretty much wraps up the After Hours Gaming Season 5 for all of us. We've done Hearthstone, CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, and now StarCraft 2. And Rotterdam, let me say once again, thank you so much for staying up till 4 a.m. German time to cast this event.
You're more than welcome. It's really fun to be part of stuff like this, especially when, earlier today it's all serious and stirred and we're casting pro gamers, and then it's just really fun to cast some relaxed StarCraft as well. So it's been a pleasure. One of the players on on Skype, he just mentioned there is a Barcraft currently going on as well, where a lot of people, a lot of Microsoft employees are watching games as well. So I want to give a shout out to a buddy here that I've met in Seattle. His name is Jeff Y. He's a Microsoft employee, and I want him to do well next season in the After Hours Gaming League. So Jeff, start practicing. And,
never stop training.
And that's it. It's always a pleasure, Sean, and very happy to do some StarCraft with you. Hope to do more in the future.
And of course, shout out to Apollo, who is Rotterdam's actually at Apollo's apartment because there was not quite enough time to get to Rotterdam's humble abode, so Apollo offered up where he lives. And literally everything that Apollo is is represented behind Rotterdam. That sofa is so important to Apollo. It is his soul sofa. So huge shout out to Apollo for donating such a wonderful PC to such a glorious man. And of course, to all our volunteers at AHGL, we talked about this before at Hearthstone, but we'll say it again here. Everyone at Day 9 TV pitches in to make the AHGL possible, but that's not even a fraction of the scope that is achieved by the amazing volunteer and assistants to make this event possible. All the team captains of the HGL teams, all the volunteers who helped do all the logistics, and of course everyone who assisted. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. HGL is such a blast to do, and it is literally not possible without people just wanting to make it happen. So, it is I, Day 9, Kevin Vanderkooi, Rotterdam 08, saying goodnight. This is the After Hours Gaming League Season 5 conclusion. Go to ahgl.tv for all your updated news. And don't remember... Whoa, let me try it again. Don't forget, wherever you are, play more video games. Good night.